Hello guys, to continue with our letter D, still under problem number 3 with our stationing of point A, that is just stationing of PC plus length of curve going to point A. So we have to solve first what is the value of the length of curve from PC to point A. So if we have this 16 degrees in total from this going to point A, so we can solve for the value of the length of curve from PC going to point A. Okay, so let's solve for that. So ganun pa rin ang pag-solve natin for letter A. So we're going to use the ratio and proportion. I-ratio natin yon sa ating circle. So LA, that is the length of curve along the curve from PC to point A, and yung angle na na-cover nun is just 16 degrees papunta dito. Again, bakit naging 16 degrees? Dahil yung deflection angle from the back tangent going to that point is just twice kapag in-extend natin to papunta sa center ng circle. So that is 16 degrees is equal to the length of the curve for our circle, or actually that is our circumference, 2 pi r. And if that is our circumference, yung angle na cover nun is just 360 degrees. So to solve for LA, so cross multiply, substituting the value for our radius, that is equivalent to 2 pi. Our radius is equivalent to 190.986 multiplied by 16 degrees divided by 360. So therefore, the length of curve going to point A is equivalent to 53.3334 meters. So therefore, we can now solve for the stationing of point A. So the station of point A is equivalent now to 50 or 50,160. Galing to sa 50 plus 160 given ito, plus 53.3334. So this will now be equivalent to 50,213.3334. Again, this is not yet our final answer for our stationing, because the standard way to write a station is dapat ito ay 50 plus 213.3334. This is now our answer. For our letter E, if the stationing of PI is 52 plus 260, determine the stationing at the point of tangency. Okay, so if we are going to understand this, so again, for our letter E, if the stationing of our PI, ito yung PI natin, is at 52 plus 260, what is now the stationing of PT? So ito naman yung ating PT. Again, okay lang ba if we know now the station of PT? Tama ba na i-add ko na lang kung ano yung tangent dito? which is yung T kanina. If this is our letter T, or our tangent distance. So to solve for the PT, or the stationing of PT, pwede ba natin gamitin yung stationing ng PI plus T? So nasa PT na tayo. I-plus lang natin to. Again, hindi yun pwede. So, always dapat dumaan tayo along the curve. So, the proper way to solve now for the stationing of PI, first, stationing of PI plus, balik tayo dito. So, this is our T. I mean, hindi pala plus. Ima-minus pala natin para makabalik tayo dito. So, PI plus T. Then, minus T. Then, plus length ng curve from PC to PT. Okay? Or that is actually our length of curve, which is yung L. Again, para hindi kayo malito, just to clear things up, to determine now the stationing of PI, that is just simply PI, i-minus natin yung T, so nandito na tayo kay PC, then plus the length of curve along PC to PT. Okay, so that is the proper way to solve for the stationing of PT given yung stationing ng PI. Okay, so let's solve that. Again, this is our PT, PI, this is our tangent distance, which is yung T. This is our PC. So to solve the stationing of PT, again, PI, stationing of PI minus T. So nandito na tayo sa PC. Then plus L. Nandito na tayo kay PT. Okay? So isulat natin yon. To solve for stationing of PT, that is equivalent to station of PI minus tangent distance plus length of curve. Okay? So first, let's solve for the value of T and the value of L. So ano na yung formula natin? For tangent distance, T is equal to R tangent I over 2. So given naman yung R, given din yung I, so we can now solve for the value of tangent distance. So yung R natin, 190.986. Tangent I natin is 50 degrees over 2. So this is equivalent now to 89.0582 meters. Next, na-solve na ba natin yung L? Meron na tayong value dyan for the value of L, which is yung value kanina ng C. Yung tinatanong sa C. Ito yon, yung 166.6667. Okay, again, to solve for L, ito lang yon. So 166.6667. So i-add na lang natin yan dito. Okay, so let's solve now for the stationing of PT. So the stationing of PT is equivalent now to stationing of PI, 52,260 minus tangent distance, which is 89.0582 meters, plus yung L natin kanina, which is 166.6667. So calculating this value, this will give us equivalent to 52,337.6085. Again, this is not yet our final answer for the stationing of PT. So the stationing of PT is equivalent to 52 plus 337.6085. This is now the answer for our stationing of PT. And last one, for our F, compute the radius of curvature using chord bases. So for our letter F, radius of curvature using chord bases. Again, using chord bases or chord definition, R is equivalent to 10 over sine DC over 2. Okay? So yung DC natin ngayon, instead na yung 6 degrees kanina as our degree of curve, yun ang gagamitin natin for our degree of curve using chord bases. So let's just substitute for the value of degree of curve as 6 degrees using chord bases. So 10 divided by, so sine 6 degrees over 2. So again, the value of our radius will give us 191.0732 meters. This is now our answer for our radius using chord bases. This is our problem number 3.